it's important to make sure that your business can be found easily online. But did you know that your chamber membership is helping you do that? Your membership comes with a free listing in our online business directory, complete with a link to your company website. That link makes it easy for our website visitors to connect to your business. And because the chamber website is highly visited, your link has even more value. Because our site gets so much traffic, a direct link to your site from ours tells search engines that your business is relevant and important, which can lead to a boost in your search engine rankings. But it only works if your link works. Head to the Chamber website now to make sure you are linked and contact us if you need to make a change. It's your membership. Own it.
Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Welcome to this week's Chamber Chat. I am Megan Barfield here with the Great Bend Chamber of Commerce, and today is Monday, December 14th. The days and months just keep flying by, and I am so excited today. We are going to be talking about our Great Bend Better Than Great visioning process that has been going on and launched about this time last year, actually. It's hard to believe that it was this time last year that we were rolling out the master plan of who we want to be in 20 years. And, we didn't know when launching this that we would be in a pandemic within just a few months of that. And so some of the initial plans of keeping things going were delayed or put on the back burner, even some of it. But what's exciting is that a lot has continued to happen, some of it because of COVID, forcing us to think outside the box and come together on several key things that were all part of the plan from the beginning. So I'm excited that we can just share that all of these great things that have been taking place in spite of this current world that we're living in with the craziness and the chaos that surrounds us. And to help share in all of that news today, I want to welcome our co-chairs of the GB Better Than Great, Mark Mingenbach and Reagan Rice. There they are. Hello, guys. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
As you might be able to tell, they are downstairs in the boardroom. I'm up in my office so that we can, try to keep some distance here. But I know that they are equally as excited to share some of the awesome things that have been happening. And we're going to kind of fly through it because we know everyone's super busy. If you have any specific questions on anything that you hear today, reach out to any one of us. We would be happy to help get you involved, answer questions. And as always, the full plan is available to view on gbbetter.com. You can see both the summary and the full plan. So we encourage you to go learn more there. We're streaming here live today on the GB Better Facebook page, the Chamber Facebook page, and the Chamber YouTube. And if you would like to give us some likes and share this to your stream, so that way you can share with your friends all of the cool things that are happening here in this community, we would love it. If you have questions, let us know in the comments. We can see those questions, and so we would be happy to answer those. So I'm going to turn it over to Reagan. We've got a lot of content here to go over. We're basically going to capture the top 10 things that we're excited about, and we'll go from there. Reagan?
Awesome. Thank you, Megan. As Megan said, last year at this time when we rolled out this plan, we did not imagine that COVID-19 would be happening, but here we are. As Megan wrote in her awesome story on the Outlook Business Journal, if you haven't got a chance to check that out, please do. But that's what we're going to be highlighting today. I think you'll feel very hopeful that even in the midst of a crazy year, a tumultuous year, a lot of progress was made making our community better. And so we're excited to talk about that today. One of the reoccurring statements that kept coming up when we did our community visioning sessions was, how are we going to hold people accountable? How are we going to move forward with this plan? And so we promised to that group, or to those groups when we met with them, that every year we would have an annual check-in. So this is part of that accountability cycle where every fall we'll be talking about how have we moved the needle forward on that plan. And so with that, I am going to turn it over to Megan to talk about the first goal.
Actually, you're going to
Mark.
me.
I'm going to turn it over to Mark. I did that earlier, Mark. I'm getting my initials confused. Sorry about that.
We'll get it figured out. Hey, as you see in the outlook, the top 10 items are listed, and Leanne has listed each one. This is a number one. And what is a community intervention task force? What we identified in our report and our findings is that there are a number of times where a person is having pardon me, a mental health challenge. Maybe they're having a meltdown, and maybe it's in a public setting. They technically have not committed any crimes, but obviously law enforcement is contacted about this. And what we have found is that there's really no place for them to get help other than the sheriff's office or the police department. And by working with this task force, Julie Cramp at the center has been very much involved. I know the sheriff has been involved, Brian Bellandier. I attended one of their meetings, a lot of law enforcement people, a lot of social service groups and mental health groups. And the design of this is that, and it's actually what Julie said the other day, is it's actually starting to work, where her organization is contacted by the sheriff or the police department, and that individual that needs help and is having the challenge is diverted to the mental health system rather than the law enforcement system. And that is working. It's in the infant stages. There's some hopefully some developments coming here in 2021, but it is a nice start for a solution to a problem that's existed for a while. And so we're excited about that. So that's all I have for that one.
Awesome. Number 2 is Heiser Park. There have been some updates to Heiser Park this year. I know that Kindle actually hosted his Kindle's Coffee at the park and had a Spanish translator there talking about the updates to that community gathering spot. The city actually did a community survey, and they had over 420 responses to that. I know that they have done some improvements to the soccer field there. They're working on, getting the stickers under control. I think that they're working on some picnic areas. And also there was some additional funding from the Harms Trust that allowed for improvements, beginning with the addition of a new handicapped accessible swing in the playground and those new soccer goals. So some exciting improvements happening.
Well, it's something
there
that I'd like to add to that is the concept that the city actually reached out and did a survey with the general public. I think Kendall said that there were over 400 people that responded to the survey.
Awesome.
And of course, communication was one of the significant things we noted in the report, that communication to the general public in regard to getting their opinions was a high priority. And so obviously the city's accomplishing that.
Absolutely. And I think one of the other exciting things is, a lot of different entities in town have strategic plans and they're all focusing on goals. But the awesome thing, I think, in reviewing, and when Mark and I actually spent some time and met with Kendall to talk about the city's responsibilities plan and this plan, as well as their strategic plan. And the awesome thing was that there were so many similarities and that we were all focused on a common goal, and a lot of the goals overlap. So we're moving in the right direction together.
The city's definitely on the same page with us.
Absolutely.
On this.
Yes. All right. I'm going to turn it over to Megan. Is Megan muted?
Sorry, there's always that one person, that's on mute. So number 3, state and national speakers. And COVID honestly helped with that, to be quite honest. And what it did was open up some opportunities to really get some attention from state officials. And this year we brought to the table Kansas Department of Commerce Secretary David Toland. We did a live Q&A right as COVID was really taking over basically our lives. We hosted that, and it was a Q&A session where people could Zoom in and have access to David Toland. We also had the same with U.S. Senator Jerry Moran, Congressman Roger Marshall. So again, just the fact that those delegates were interested and concerned with our area, and we were able to highlight what our needs were here and advocate on behalf of the area. That was very great. Other great things that happened with bringing speakers to the table. We did a Women in Business summit. We did a watch party paired with the Kansas Chamber of Commerce, the Aligned Leader Master Series with a national executive coach, Chad Carden. He was actually mentored by Zig Ziglar, so that's super cool. And then here most recently, we had the Kansas Department of Commerce Deputy Secretary of Business, Bill Murphy, here in Great Bend. Sarah Hayden and myself had the chance to meet him early in October at a manufacturing summit, and we invited him to Great Bend 3 months into the job, and he came and he got to see all of the great things that we have going here and some of the direction we want to go, so that as they are working to bring new development and site developers into Kansas, Great Bend will be top of mind for them. So we're really excited about those opportunities.
Okay, well, I'll take on number 4, which is downtown development and the quality of life. One thing that, even though COVID struck, what I'm happy to report is that the Jack Kilby Square was used a lot throughout the spring and summer. The farmers market, the street stroll, the third Thursday food trucks, the art and wine walk was a great success again. The women's night out was very successful. There were several cruise nights. I know that, when I was in high school, we cruised Maine, and they recreated that. I participated in one of them, and I know there's some drone video of that, and I know that occurred a couple more times. Just people using Jack Kilby Square for different events, and I know it's been used this summer again for a number of weddings, and so that's exciting. Downtown businesses, I know that of 3 new businesses that had opened, the Hernandez Bakery across from Landmark Bank, and Ruby's Boutique, which is there across from the courthouse. And then we're all awaiting and crossing our fingers for Dry Lake Brewery. We talked the other day at our meeting with Ryan Fairchild, and he gave us an update, and it's just about ready to open. And so we're excited about Dry Lake. And one thing I noticed about Dry Lake is, and I think we really appreciated it, is those guys used all local contractors to develop and build out their facility, and that really made a difference during COVID to keep some people employed.
Yeah. And I'm going to give them a shout out here for just a second. If you don't follow them on Facebook, they posted an awesome picture this weekend of their new patio. So even to build the excitement, it looks pretty good.
I saw where they took the front windows out, and they have that area, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah. I think the other fabulous thing that just happened downtown, Mark, was the Christmas Christmas windows. Huge. It was beautiful. I know our family has loved every minute of being down there and seeing that, and just kudos to everyone involved in that project.
Well, something I just learned about last night was that Rosewood is organizing, there's a new trolley. And Rosewood is actually organizing Christmas lights tours with the trolley starting later this week. Awesome. And you'll be able to see more about that on various places, but I don't know the specific details, but the fact that that's going to happen, obviously the downtown window decorating contest was really successful, and it's fun to see families walking around looking at the windows.
Absolutely. That just lends to, again, that quality of life and that community pride. So, share those things on your own personal news feeds to let others see about the magic that's taking place here.
Absolutely. So I do just want to apologize for just a second. We are rolling through these, and to give you all some perspective, last week we spent over an hour really diving in deep to all these. So you're getting the snippet. So I do want to encourage you again, just one more plug for Megan's Outlook Business Journal, the story that she wrote. We're just hitting the high points. So if you are interested in learning a lot more about these goals and what's been the progress that's been made, please, please, please check that out. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to number 5, and that's access to telehealth. I need to just start this goal with giving major kudos to Sue Cooper. She is doing a fantastic job in her role for the county. And the first part of that was a grant for the amount of over $780,000 came in for Barton County to provide telemedicine software and equipment, which will bolster healthcare access in central Kansas. And when she was with us just last week, that is just for technology alone. That's not even for employees in 2021. So that's an incredible amount of money to help with some of those technologies. I believe also that this grant will help with some substance abuse counseling. I think she's working with community corrections among a number of other groups, but just how exciting for our area to receive that grant. That's a lot of money and can make a big difference. So kudos to her and to the county for investing in that. I'm going to turn it over to Megan again.
Okay, well, and I think that's a good segue, because to have a lot of that interconnectivity that is needed for all of this telehealth, we need broadband access and expansion. And so Next Tech, who is ironically enough the sponsor of our chamber chats, they have been busy completing grant requests too and getting rewarded money from the CARES Act to expand our broadband access here in the county, which is huge when it comes to recruiting employers and employees. There's more people now working from home, and we need that. So they have expanded that to residential areas, starting at Bissell's Point. You've seen the information, and that's just going to be continuing throughout the year. And then they were awarded an $800,000 Spark grant through the CARES Act funding. And what that is going to do is allow them to expand on their broadband access south of town, out by the bridge, the Barton County Historical Society. And it will basically, when it's done, it's projected to affect 40 businesses, getting them fiber access. And again, that's huge. The more people we can get to fiber, we're all just increasing that connectivity and the speed, which just enhances our overall economic value. Number 7, going right into that, is diversity and inclusion. This has been on the minds of many for quite a while, and I love that it was such a primary focus within the GB Better Vision Plan. And so I think here at the Chamber, we've done several different things throughout the year to try to put more of a focus on that, and in hopes that other organizations will see and learn from what we're doing, and we're learning from others who have done it before us. So I think that that's, a lot of times it's knowing where to start. And so if we can all learn from each other, that's really going to motivate and continue that process. Some of the efforts that we have done specifically this year is the county actually appointed the Chamber to facilitate the Spark grants that the county received from the Spark Task Force. And again, those were all part of the CARES Act funding in response to COVID. And so they had a focus, or they asked a focus of us as we facilitated this, to really make sure that the racial minority-owned business owners knew that they had access to this funding and that they understood how to complete those grant requests, whether they did or not, but just make sure that they knew that we were here for them and that this community and the county is here for them. So we have, a demographic of, for example, the Hispanic-owned businesses. So one of the things we did was we worked with a volunteer who translated all of our applications into Spanish. We put a Spanish website up on our website, and then we just kind of literally hit the pavement and delivered applications in Spanish to all of the Hispanic-owned businesses that we knew of, and then mobilized other volunteers to help us continue that. And we did. I feel like, you always wish you could do more, but I'm excited about what we were able to accomplish and the conversations that have started because of it. And it's all about making the connections, mobilizing more volunteers, and just listening to one another and learning about our cultures and how we can truly help one another. So we're really excited about that and where that will go in the future. Okay, number 8, I'm just going to keep on rolling here. Building on the legacy of Jack Kilby, the Nobel Prize winner, and creating a community business culture around technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So 2 years ago, we held our first manufacturing day, and then we did it again here in 2020. Obviously, it looked different, but the whole goal is to showcase and highlight modern manufacturing and connect the dots between our high schoolers and college kids to the manufacturing jobs that are available here in Barton County. And when I say manufacturing jobs, I mean the traditional manufacturing like Fuller Industries and Superior Essex and GDI, but I also mean non-traditional manufacturing and Rebecca Ford and Artisan Soaps and Kat King and cakes. Basically, if you're creating, you're manufacturing. And so there's a lot of career opportunities there, and that's fostering entrepreneurship. And along those same lines of fostering the entrepreneurship, Sarah Hayden and myself with Great Bend Economic Development, we have received a grant to help host our first Barton County Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge. Again, all in an effort to connect the youth and their ideas with our business community and connect those resources and dots so that they can see the opportunities that are right here. So if they do leave it for college, they know that they can come back and have a fruitful and prosperous business right here in Barton County, and that the resources are here to help them be successful in the future. So we're really excited about where that will go and looking for business-minded individuals who would like to step up and help with mentoring the youth as we get going.
I've enjoyed watching the youth challenge on Network Kansas. I get those emails. So I just want to commend you and Sarah for being able to get our community involved in that. And let's hope that there's a number of students at the high school that would like to develop businesses.
Absolutely. Send them our way.
Yeah.
Very good. I'm going to move on to goal number 9, which is educating the community on issues pertaining to poverty. There are organizations, there's an incredible amount of organizations in our community that are constantly working to help our community. Organizations like Rise Up Central Kansas, the Barton County Resolve Poverty, and Central Kansas Partnerships have played an integral role this year in connecting resources to those seeking it, while also educating the community at the same time. Classes like Getting Ahead and Just Getting By World bring people together to change lives and legacies. I know Catholic Charities has also done a great amount of work. United Way of Central Kansas. There's many organizations in our community that work every day tirelessly to improve our communities. And so I just want to give a shout out to all of those incredibly important organizations that have helped a lot of people. Another exciting thing this year was the United Way of Central Kansas. They brought together over $22,000 to continue the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library book program. And you might be wondering, well, what does that have to do with poverty? And actually, there's a number of studies that program directly is correlated to higher education attainment rates, like a lower dropout rates in communities that are signed up for that program. And so the more that we can get communities involved and invested into the lives of their children, and the more resources we can give to them, connecting them to their education, we believe that the higher their education will be, which then translates to higher paying jobs and getting out of a poverty cycle. So that's why that goal falls under that category.
And I would like to just add to this is that Reagan chaired the whole thing. She coordinated it with the YP group, and it all developed very, very successfully because of your efforts. So thank you.
Mark also helped. But now moving on to goal 10, connecting employers with qualified workers. We are really fortunate here in Barton County to have a number of organizations that also help, with helping employees. Partnerships between Kansas Works, Kansas Workforce One, Economic Development Institute here in town, and then also the Chamber of Commerce. They are all providing awareness to different employers and helping to get information out about the resources that they have available. Again, kudos to all those groups that are collaborating. I love watching the Chamber, the Economic Development, and the city and the county. All of those groups, I love watching the interaction and the collaboration that I've seen this year, especially, with the pandemic. All of them working together to get out information to our community and to business owners. I mean, this year was hard for a lot of people, but wow, we had a lot of people really step up. And so just kudos to all of those people and Kansas Works, Kansas Workforce One. I know that Central Kansas Jobs, I've been seeing on their Facebook page that they're going to be getting a facelift, if you will, and that website will be looking different in the future. So kudos to them. I believe Martin Community College is also working. An economic development work group has been formed to talk about workforce needs and training required. I know Great Bend Economic Development Inc. has been working with local organizations, talking about gaps or areas of improvement for employees or just in our community. And so much work has been done, and it's really awesome. And so I think that's probably all for our goals. But I don't know, Mark, do you have anything?
Well, I would just suggest that we're gonna take this into 2021 with a strong movement toward coordinating the development of the subcommittees that would be divided out to address each of the future goals. And the reason I wanted to mention that is that if you're listening to this and watching this, if you would like to participate on one of those subcommittees, we would absolutely value your participation. And if you would like to do that, if you could just contact Megan here at the chamber and let her know what area you'd like to participate in, then we'll get you assigned to one of the subcommittees.
And I know that we mentioned this earlier, but I just want to redirect people to it. I know it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen as well. Thank you, Leanne. gbbetter.com is the website where you can go. There's 2 different plans listed on that page. One is a little bit of a shorter synopsis of all of the findings, but if you want to really get into to look at what are the goals of this whole plan and what are the action items and who are they assigned to, I think it's about a 60-page document that you can go in and learn about what is this GB Better, what is this topic, and what are people working towards. That will really explain a lot of the goals. So thank you all for joining us. Megan, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yes, no, Mark and Reagan, thank you guys so much for helping cheerlead this entire initiative. And yes, we're excited, about the things that have been accomplished. And we want that to be our story going forward, that even, in a year when a lot of people are finding themselves divided amongst, groups because of beliefs or politics or whatever it is in 2020, it's thrown a lot at us, but we've accomplished a lot, and so many good relationships and connections have started because of it. So we should all be looking forward to a better tomorrow and just listening to one another and connecting and being kind. So thank you guys. You will continue to hear from us in 2021. The 3 of us are putting together a plan that we are not letting another pandemic. There is no other pandemic. I don't know something you don't. We are, getting a plan together to continue this momentum into the new year. So thank you, everyone. Again, if you have questions, call us at the chamber